All right. So finally recording after many weeks, and I just wanted to share this with y'all. My dog just died. Abby. Oh wait, never mind. She's still alive. Let me set this camera up. All right. Hell yeah. This is awesome. So, it's been a minute. Let me just fix this. It's been a minute since I've recorded something. And, I don't know. It's been a minute. A lot of personal growth, a lot of mental growth, relationship growth, business growth, all kinds of growth. And I've just been growing. You know, one thing that you don't think about, but growth equals pain. Growth equals suffering. Growth equals being uncomfortable. And that's something that you're not really aware of because it feels wrong. It feels like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. But you need to be. You need to grow. You need to learn new skills. You need to always be improving. If you're not growing, you are slowly dying. So, I've been having a lot of growth, so I've been doing a lot of suffering. But sometimes you need a break from the suffering, from the growth. And last week I took a week-long vacation. I went to Colorado Springs with my wife, Yasmin, the lovely Yasmin. And the whole time I was like, I'm going to finally smoke a cigar in Colorado Springs. I'm in the mountains. We got this nice Airbnb. I could see the background of the mountains and it just looks like a postcard. We had a little patio, fireplace. And the whole time I'm like, finally, I'm gonna smoke a cigar and chill. And well, we got there, and apparently people don't smoke cigars. They smoke weed, which I don't. And it's fine. They do have some cigar shops, but they're open like at weird times. And every time I wanted to go get one, first of all, it was out of the way. It wasn't in our vicinity. And also, they had some weird hours. And then the other couple that I saw were just like VIP lounges, which is cool. But I'm like, I just need to go pick something up. I don't need to get a membership here, you know. Let me just light this up real quick. I actually started smoking cigars. Well, I don't want to say I started, but I smoke cigars. It's too windy. Smoke cigars, shit, fucking blowtorch. When did I start? Well, I saw Andrew Tate do it, and I'm like, oh, that guy's cool. Maybe I should smoke cigars. And then that's how I started. And then I stopped for a little bit because I just wanted to try it. It's something I never tried. And then Yasmin's friend's husband, Steve, shout out Steve, he was a cigar connoisseur apparently, and he really got me back into cigars and showed me his favorite brands, and that's when I went to go do some shopping on my own, and I came up. The first cigar that I really liked was from Charter. It was Charter Oak by the company is called Foundation Cigars, and the specific cigar I was smoking was a Charter Oak Connecticut shade, and yeah, that was my favorite cigar for the longest time. It's been a minute since I smoked. I don't even know how to light this. I just like to smoke. Yeah, so Charter Oak Foundation cigars was the first one I really liked. It's kind of a weird angle, huh? Let me pause this real quick. There we go, way better. And I got that panza, dude. I was a lot chubbier and I'm losing weight, so I'm proud of it. So I'll sport this anytime right now because it was bigger before. But anyway, Foundation cigars, Charter Oak. If you are a beginner smoker, I highly recommend getting the Grande. I think it's a big diameter. I think it's sort of like this. Get a Grande size Charter Oak Connecticut shade. And I thought initially it was the opposite. You want to get the thinner one, the smaller one. But the thinner one is more concentrated. The airflow is a lot smaller than these. So for this one, when I puff it in, it's I'm bringing in more air versus a smaller hole. It's more concentrated. It's more smoke. So that was my experience. Once I found that out, I transitioned to just Grande size. And that's a great starter cigar for my own experience. So highly recommend it. Shout out Cabana House here on South Congress. That's where I get all my stuff. They are dope. I love it there. The people there, the people who work there, they're so cool, friendly. I was a newbie, still am a newbie. I go in there and they're very cordial, very helpful. Like it's badass. And I think that's why I like smoking cigars. It's not because of the nicotine. I need the nicotine. It's for the experience. First, in getting there and talking to cool people, seeing all the different selections, all the different types of brands and varieties. And then second is the actual experience of sitting back. Well, if you have the opportunity, like I do right now, to just sit back, sit down under this beautiful oak tree on a late summer, not late, yeah, it's late summer, we're in September, midday, after I just ate lunch, and I have the opportunity to just sit back and smoke a cigar for 30 minutes or so, I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not running around. I don't have a fucking headache because of anxiety, or because I'm stressed out, or because I need to do this and that. Like, things are good right now. And I have the opportunity to just light this motherfucker up and just puff on it for a little bit. The wind's coming this way, so it's all blowing in my face. Yeah, I don't know. So, going back to cigars, that's the one I like, Charter Oak, Connecticut. And then, I tried a lot of different ones. There's so many, so many. I found out I like the bigger sizes like this, so now I stick to that size. Unless I want to try something, I might get something smaller just because it's cheaper. But then after that, shout out Steve, he put me on Drew Estate Undercrown Shade. Oops. So you can see here, I don't know if you can see the thing, it's Drew Estate, and this is their little emblem. I mean, not their emblem, but oh wait, I'm assuming that's their emblem. And there we go. Undercrown Shade is this specific brand. Forgot to put my timer. That way I don't chill for longer than 30 minutes. It's funny. I sit over here next to the thing. God damn, I got my keys. God damn it. God damn it. Yeah, so let me tell you about these. Off the bat, compared to Charter Oak, off the bat when I first smoked these here, is I realized the build quality was way different. It's a lot more dense. I'm assuming they just pack it really full and tight, and that was the first thing I noticed. And then second was just I'm assuming because of that, the smoke. Can't really tell, but I noticed that the smoke was a lot heavier too, and I don't know. It just felt like a cleaner. Not saying that the other one's not clean because I love the other cigars too, but this was just like a notch up in build quality and the amount of tobacco in here. Excuse me if I spit everywhere. I don't know if this is normal or not, but I found that when I smoked the cigars the first couple minutes, all my saliva glands start like freaking out and be like, oh, what the fuck is happening? Smoke. So it causes me to spit, and I just haven't got used to it. So I automatically just spit, and I have to try to control that. But anyway, the build quality was a notch up. The density of this was a notch up. The tobacco amount, I'm assuming, was also a notch up. And the price point is also a notch up. And that's not like, oh, it goes double the price. I think it was just like $1 more expensive than Charter Oak. If I remember correctly, Grande Charter Oak Connecticut Shade is like $8.99, I think. And these have to be $10 or so, maybe 11. So not big numbers. But also, I made the mistake, the newbie mistake. I overdosed on nicotine smoking these because it's more densely packed, because it's a denser cigar. I'm assuming, let's just throw numbers out there, it's like a significant amount more of tobacco, meaning more nicotine. So while I can smoke a Charter Oak cigar 30 minutes or so, if I try to do this one in 30 minutes or less, like I'm puffing it. Like I'm actively taking in the nicotine. Abby! And it's too much, too quick. This is like more of a 45-minute, hour-long cigar because of how dense it is. So it's so windy right now. What the hell? I gotta show you, Abby. Abby, you're not dead. You're alive and well. Yeah, she stays inside a lot, but then every now and then she'll go outside and just lay in the 100-degree sun. And I'm like, dang, you're crazy, girl. But anyway, this is what this is. I'm still learning the nuances. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just some guy in North America, in Texas, floating in the universe, smoking a cigar. You can also, this is another thing I noticed with Charter Oak, this would have already broken off or been pretty fragile. I don't know what you call this part, but here in Drew Estate, with this specific cigar, I mean, you can go another like inch or so, and it'll still be nice and like strong ash, which I think just shows the build quality. It's something I noticed. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. So this is how I hold my cigar, nice and tight in that middle finger and pointer finger. And that's it. I see people do like this sometimes. It doesn't really matter. Everyone has their own preference. Damn, it's windy. What the hell? Something I noticed about my hairline, like, you see that? It's like this side's deeper in than this side. Shit, dude. We need to go to Turkey or something. Just kidding. No, I don't give a fuck. I would shave my fucking head. I don't care. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grow my hair out. Actually, I've had a buzz cut all year. It just makes life easier. But my wife likes it longer because I can texturize it. I'm basically a Calvin Klein type model. So when I have long hair, you can really see those qualities. When I have a buzz cut, I just look like some fucking Indian working outside. Some Native American, some native with the buzz cut. Or maybe like I just came out of jail and have a buzz cut. I don't know, probably not. What else? Um, yeah, going back to Colorado Springs. I don't know if I already talked about this. I forgot, but couldn't find a cigar shop that I was in my proximity and also was open. So I had the urge to smoke a cigar on my vacation, and I didn't. And I was in my office right now, and I'm like, man, just had lunch. It's a nice fucking day. It's chill right now. I can afford 30 to 60 minutes to just sit down and fucking chill. I can brain rot myself and watch YouTube, Instagram, but I'm like, no, let me. I mean, I wish I had a cigar. I would smoke a cigar right now. So I look in my box. I have this box in my office. Another thing about cigar shops or lounges, if you buy a box, they just have a bunch of these that they throw away. You can buy them; they're super cheap, and I just think they're beautiful. Like, this is one out of like a couple that I have, and I just store my stuff in here. But anyway, I opened it just cause, and I found this motherfucker in here. So I was like, hell yeah, dude! The universe is telling me, bro, chill. I gave you the time. Go chill. And then also I thought, well, I haven't recorded a video in a long time. I've wanted to, but I just haven't done it. And I thought, you know what? Why not just record one right now, dude? It's like it's all falling into place. The universe gave me the time. I found the cigar. I got my phone. I have this mic. Why not? So now we're here. So, what else? I had a week-long forced vacation, and I say forced because I forced myself to chill out and let things go. I'll be in business 8 years this October, and for the last 6.5, let's say, I've just been tactical in it every day, every aspect, all the time. To where Efren as a person, that guy just dwindled away and disappeared. My hobbies went away. In my hobbies, I mean, I stopped going to kickboxing and going to the gym, stopped being healthy. I stopped playing guitar and practicing my guitar. And I stopped, I guess, socializing. Yeah, I was just always working. So the things that made me who I was and the things that I enjoyed doing, I just over time, over 5, 6 years, just dwindled down to zero. And no wonder I was feeling like shit because my life sucked. I feel like shit because my life is shit. My whole identity became this, the business. See, look at that. Ash, it's building up, and it's like on there. Watch it break on me. Watch it fall on my shirt, burn a hole. Um, Yeah, so my life was becoming shit, and I hated everything about it. And I'm like, but what the fuck am I doing? And now I just started working on things to try to like break that mindset of being negative, of being anxious, and this and that. And this year, 2025, has been a crazy fucking year, and like wasn't planned. But now looking back, and I'm out of it, out of the hole. Like the best thing that could have happened. In the beginning of the year, I got married last November, November 30th. So basically, at the end of the year, um, which FYI, if you're looking to get married, don't get married around the holidays. It's a fucking hassle. We had Thanksgiving and all this stuff, and by the time it was a wedding, it's like everybody was just kind of tired. I was tired of being around people. It was just, if we could change one thing, we would change it to pre-Thanksgiving or just wait another week, a couple weeks after Thanksgiving. But anyway, it turned out perfect. And then I was like, all right, let's go, girl. Let's start a family, you know? We've known each other for 7 years at that point. Actually, me and my wife have known each other since we met the month before I started the business. Like, we're 2 months before. I was already working, but I didn't officially create it until October, and we met in June. June, July, August, September. Then like 4 or 5 months. Anyway, so I known this girl for this long now, and then we got married. I'm like, all right, let's get to it. Let's get to business. You know, what are we waiting around for? Let's start a family, and that's what we did. Starting like 2025 this year. She got pregnant in February, and then we're super excited. I'm the oldest child. It's the first grandchild, or second grandchild, I mean. And my parents obviously super fucking excited. And then turns out like, oh shit, it's in the wrong place. It's ectopic, and we found that out during emergency surgery. So quick synopsis is my wife was working. She's a nurse. She was working her 12-hour shift, and at the end of her shift, as she's charting, sharp pain in her lower abdomen, her stomach, and to the point where like it just becomes increasingly horrendous to where she can't get up off the floor. She went to the restroom initially, and then she collapsed there. And she called me crying. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just got home from a long ass fucking day. It's funny. It's funny now. I got home from a long ass fucking day. I heated up a fucking frozen pizza, and she was already done. I took it out, and I'm cutting it, right? And I'm like, man, I'm gonna savor this pizza. Cut the pizza. Yasmin calls me, and she'll typically call me like at the end of her shift, just to be like, hey, I'm whatever, having a good day, or gonna go home soon. But she calls me, she's like crying. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, my stomach hurts. I mean, it was more dramatic than that, but like, she was telling me she had a lot of pain in her stomach. I was like caught off guard, like what the fuck? And Yasmina's had health issues, so it's like not the first time she's like, oh, something's up. So I'm like, all right, well, you can just give it a few minutes, give it like 10 minutes, just take some deep breaths. Like I didn't know the full extent of it. So I stay on the phone with her. After 10 minutes, she's like, no, fuck that. Ignores me, which is I'm glad. And she basically opens the door from the restroom, and like calls for help. And some fucking person I don't even know if they worked there. It was just some patient, his family member, that like finds his nurse on the floor crying, curled up in a ball. And I'm like, fuck, that's crazy. So I was like, all right, I'll meet you in the ER. And we live super hella close to the hospital. 5-minute drive. So I get there. Well, first, I still don't know for the full extent. I just know, all right, she didn't go to the ER. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm still kind of frustrated because I had a long ass day, and I just heated up my pizza. Look at that. fucking still holding on. I had my pizza warmed up. It was thin crust pepperoni, my favorite. Had my Valentina and some ranch on the side. I already changed out of my clothes. I think I already showered at that point. Like I was ready to just sit down and fucking chill. And then bam, now I have to go. I'm like, fuck. I remember sitting down, eating my pizza. Fuck. I think I ate like half a fucking piece. And I was like, alright, I better go. So I go, meet her in the ER. And yeah, she's bent over, like can't move, crying and like trying to breathe. And I'm just like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? And I mean, nobody knows what's going on. She doesn't know. I don't know. The nurses don't know. The doctor doesn't know. Like everyone's just like, what the fuck? So they just go through the process. Draw some labs. Ask her if she's pregnant. She is. But it was fairly new. We were just gonna have our first 6-week appointment, like 2 weeks from there. So I guess she was around 4 weeks pregnant. So super early on. Now, I'm gonna bust this because I'm afraid it's gonna follow me. Ah, it fell. Anyway, yeah, that was crazy. Crazy Ash. Back to the story. We're drawing labs. I'm just sitting there like this in the fucking corner of the room like, what the fuck do I do? Put my hand on Yasmin's back. It's okay, just breathe. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's not like I can go and tell the nurses, hey, what the fuck's going on? Like, nobody knows what's going on. Me bombarding them and pressuring them, it's stressing them out, it doesn't do anything. So anyway, they draw some labs, and from there they take us to like our actual room versus kind of like I don't know, just somewhere like we have more space in a bed. And Yasmin's still fucking falling apart because she cannot move from the pain or even take deep breaths. So they give her pain medicine, IV pain medicine, bam, and she finally like is able to somewhat relax. But it's only like temporary. And then we're there waiting in the room from like, I think she called me like at 7:30 to like midnight. And the whole time, you know, they'll give her pain medicine and they'll give her some nausea medicine. The doctor's asking us questions. They're trying to, you know, take a look from the outside, and you know it hurts a lot just to even raise your shirt. They took her for some imaging. I think initially it was like an ultrasound, didn't find nothing. Then it was a MRI. Not really much. It was some things, but like nothing that was like, oh, this is the issue. So at midnight, 12:30, 1-ish, is when things really started rolling. Up to that point, I was like, all right, Yasmin's calmed down. I think whatever happened is kind of resolving. I still have to go to work the next day. So I'm like, man, it's 12 o'clock. It's work tomorrow's gonna suck ass, but I'll just buy Red Bulls throughout the day and just power through it. It's just one night. Fuck it. And I was talking to Yasmin about it. I was like, hey, I think everything seems fine. You seem like you're doing better. She agreed. I was like, all right, I'll wait a little bit longer, and if nothing happens, I'll go home and just call me if anything happens. Then around 12:30, Yasmin's kind of like dozing off asleep. Half because pain medicine. Well, yeah, pain medicine, and the other half is like what ended up happening was I noticed I feel like we all noticed at the same time. The doctors, the ER doctors, and me. She was really drowsy, and I thought it was pain medicine, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was still a red flag. And another thing I noticed is her face was looking very, very pale, like her lips were very pale, and she kind of looked like death. Like she kind of looked like she was dying. But that's so. Yeah, if I just had to say it like that, it was like, is she just drowsy or is she dying? I can't really tell. But anyway, the ER docs were right there, right outside the room, and I could see them. It was like pretty much around the same time that I was like looking at her, and I heard them and saw them like look at her, and they were like, "Oh, she's looking worse." And I think what happened was like they're like, "All right, let's go draw blood, let's do this and let's do that," and they must have already known the lab value before because when they said that they drew labs, but also started setting her up for a blood transfusion, and that's when I knew shit was going down. Because you don't just give blood just cause. I mean, there's got to be certain uh, things that need to happen in order for that to even be a thing. Is it still on? Hopefully y'all can hear me. Yeah. Um. Yeah, you don't just give blood just cause. So, I guess now I'm looking back, they must have got the lab values already. So the the nurses rush in, turn on the lights, start setting up pumps, start looking for another IV access because she already had one, but she needed another one. And then they're like, "Oh, go, get a typing screen," which means basically draw some blood so we can make sure we give her the correct blood. Put the band on her. Those have been in the hospital, worked in the hospital, or been patients understand like the little red band with the stickers. You're gonna get blood, or you're getting prepped to receive blood, just in case. Um, so I was like, "Oh man, shit's going down." So I actually left the room because it got bombarded. Yeah, and Yasmin, she didn't wake up. She was still like drowsy, just like they were poking her, moving her around, and she was just like half awake. Not even like a quarter% awake. No, 25% awake. And I just stepped out, let them do their thing. And I mean, I didn't say anything. What the fuck could I say? What am I gonna do? March around the fucking floor being like, what's going on? Someone tell me. Someone needs to tell me. Nobody knows what's going on. We're all trying to figure it out. Let them do their thing. Yeah, like I saw them move. I saw them be quick. So I didn't feel like I needed to be on top on their ass and be like, hey, I need y'all need to start doing y'all's job. And maybe it's also because I am a nurse as well. That was my world. That was my first passion, my first love. So I was giving them the space and the grace because I can understand their position. And as you're getting everything ready, now it's like 1 o'clock, and the doctor's like, all right, her blood dropped from like 15, her hemoglobin, which is the way you measure, I guess, blood levels, uh, is 15, which is normal. And then when they rechecked it, like 4 hours later, it was 8. So essentially, like in half. And that, so I don't know if that equates to volume, which I'm assuming it does. So let's just, for this conversation, let's assume it does. So essentially, half her blood volume is missing. And, well, externally, she's not bleeding anywhere. So what the fuck? Where is it? Uh, which means internal bleeding. Which means emergency surgery. We need to figure out what the fuck's going on. And that's what they went in with. I mean, they went into surgery without even knowing what the fuck was happening. So they were either, first scenario, the ideal scenario is to do a laparoscopic. So they do like 4 or 5 different points, and they blow you up with CO2 to have more space to work. Put in some cameras, some tools, and it's very small incisions, and it's less invasive. Uh, Worst case scenario is down the middle, fucking old school style, or this way. I don't know, whatever. Just cut you up like a fucking fish. That'd be the worst case scenario. And so luckily, they did a laparoscopic first, and it took a while, but they found the bleed, and apparently the little baby, let's call it a baby. I'm still emotionally attached. The little baby got attached. It stayed in the what's it called, the fallopian tube, and it just happened to fall and grow, attach itself to an area where there's an artery, and I think it might have been slowly leaking, and I think that's where a lot of the abdomen pain came from, and eventually kind of just burst, and slowly and surely just filled up the abdomen with blood. So essentially, half her blood was in her abdomen, not supposed to be there, which is why she was having all the pain. It was just burning the inside of her lining. And this is after an ultrasound, after an MRI, couldn't find what the fuck was going on. So at some point it like just popped and just immediately gushed. And it must have been at some point, maybe towards the end of the night, where it just all of a sudden gushed out. Or, yeah, just been a larger bleed than initially it was. But anyway, I'm in the fucking living room. I don't know, waiting room. Don't know none of this. I just know is I told Yasmin goodbye and I'll see you outside, but I knew like nobody knew what the fuck was happening. And as I sat there in the waiting room by myself from like 1 to 4 in the morning with nobody, lights off, hella fucking tired. At that point I decided, okay, I guess I'm not going to work. I'll tell you what, sitting there by yourself with just your thoughts is like super, it's overwhelming, it's scary, but it's necessary. When I was sitting there, all I could think about was the possible outcomes that were being presented to me. And there was only two. The first one was the doctor comes out of the the OR room and says, hey, we gotta have great news. We were able to stop the bleed and this and that, and she's in recovery, and bam, 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 good news. Oh, hell yeah. Long road to recovery, but she's alive, and we can at least now move forward from here. The second option, which is the one I really dwelled on for a long time, because it's like I couldn't wrap my head around, I still can't, and is she comes out, the doctor comes out of the OR room doors, and I have to assume that I would already know immediately that things didn't go right. And she would have said, the doctor, which is Dr. Cooper, shout out Dr. Cooper. She was super amazing. She was an OBGYN on call, surgeon, and she saved my wife's life. So thank you very much. And she would have came out. I would have known immediately what the fuck was happening, and she would have been, Everett, I'm sorry, but XYZ. And that was a reality I kept replaying in my head because it was the scariest one and the one that I just couldn't comprehend. And then all I had was just 3 hours, 4 hours of just replaying what that even looks like. So would I go home by myself, open my door to the house, see all our newlywed pictures on the wall, see Yasmin's clothes on the floor, her socks on the ground, and all the mess she makes that I'm always frustrated about, still see it there, knowing that she's never going to be home to pick it up, and we're never going to have a single conversation about it ever again. Like, going into our closet, and I know here's my side and there's her side, and knowing that I'll, like just making that connection of like, that doesn't exist anymore. Like, it's so weird and scary, but I had 3-4 hours to just play that in my mind. And it's not that I was intentionally doing that, and it's not like something that I wanted, but I knew it was a possibility. And I am a realist, and I understand that there are things that are out of my control, and it doesn't matter how much I wish, prayed, shoulda, coulda, woulda, anything. It doesn't fucking matter. If that would have been what would happen, I would have to deal with it. So in a sense, I guess I was preparing myself for the worst case scenario. I was hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. And looking back, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad that I didn't shy away from that and I didn't allow myself to be scared from that reality because it was 100% a possibility. I think it's made me a better husband, a better person. Um, I don't know. It's just one thing that's really catalyst has been a big catalyst in my own personal growth, mental growth. To just be like, fuck it, dude. Nothing matters. Like we think there's all these rules and regulations and things are the certain ways, and don't break that rule, or he said don't do this, or she said don't do that. Like it's all made up. Anything could be gone, like that, in a fucking second. So all these fake imagined realities, imagined orders, it, they're not. It doesn't fucking matter. So it just made me. After all this, it made me be more present. It made me want to lean into more of who I am, what I want to be, want to do, and just be less focused on the outside world. Because at any single moment, this can be taken away, regardless of if I have anything to say or do with it. So, fast forward to now. Yasmin is great. She's thriving. It's been a long journey. So when they puncture you with the laparoscopic surgery things, they're puncturing through the skin, through the fat, through the muscle, through the all of that shit. So you can imagine, like you don't have a core anymore. And on top of that, they blow you the fuck up. It's completely stretch all these tissues here, all the tissue there. So she just had a lot of like pain for a while and just felt physically weak, obviously. And it took a long time for her to kind of get physically to a point where she just feels like she can kind of now start working on herself physically. I mean, we're in September now, and after many months, after already two back injuries because of like no core strength, after going to physical therapy specifically for her back pain. Keep in mind, no pain meds. Any Tylenol, ibuprofen, yeah, but like no narcotics, which is fucking awesome. She's now able to like go for jogs. We went to Colorado and went hiking every single day, like no pain. So it's possible, and I think that's really helped her personally and mentally to give her more self confidence and know that she's that bitch. She's a bad bitch, and that's why I married her. And I just think she needed to see that too and feel it. It's weird because I've said this before to other people, and I think I sound fucking crazy, but I know what I mean and I know how I feel about it. Is now looking, fast forward to now to today, everything is fine. Everything that happened back in March is the best thing that could have happened to us, as individually and as a couple. It's made both of us grow so much. It's made our relationship a lot more stronger. We trauma bonded together, and yeah, I don't regret it. Like I wouldn't take anything back. Now, let's say I'm sitting here and being like, yeah, my wife died, and I feel like it's my fault because obviously we made a baby. Then yeah, maybe I wouldn't be saying that. But it doesn't fucking matter. We're not in that timeline. We're in this timeline where she is alive, she's doing well, and we're all doing great. So that's one thing that happened this year. We're not even talking about business. Shit, because at that time was spring rush, where everything is picking up. We had projects on the fucking calendar with deposits, backed up. I'm still learning the business game. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then also, oh yeah, my brother quit. And then also, my wife almost died and now she's in the hospital now, which means I'm in the hospital. Which means I can't be in the field helping him, even though my brother quit. And we're a small team, so if one person quits, that's like a fucking 25% of the team, or I guess 33% of the team. I made it out. I'm here. I'm doing good. I'm getting back in shape, even though it may not look like it. I was like fucking bigger, thicker. Life's good. Anyway, this is a long ass fucking video. We're going on 45 minutes. As you can see, I'm not even like done with the cigar yet. Probably have another 20 minutes here, but I don't want to overdo it. So I'm gonna let it chill, and that's it. So hopefully you enjoyed the story time. I wasn't planning to talk about this, but that was just top of mind. Right now I'm in a position where things are good. We've made it through the hellhole, and I'm just looking to just keep pushing forward, keep the momentum, and continue to do great things, continue to live my life, improve my life, and hopefully by default improve the lives of the people around me. Alright, that's it. We'll talk to you later.